Hey, so welcome back. So this is the first part of our story or journey in blended learning. Um, and what I wanted to do was start kind of at the macroscopic level and work our way down. So I wanted to talk a little bit about today about what our district did to make the rollout of blended learning um, as painless as possible, because it's important to know that when you make this transition, it's gonna be hard. So having district support is invaluable. I mean, you've gotta have it. So if you're a district leader watching this video, know that, um, the number one thing you can provide to your campuses is support, encouragement, and understanding. Um, our assistant superintendent at the time, he's now my superintendent, um, is the one who kind of got the ball rolling and started this initiative. Um, True to his nature, but should be applied to anything like this. The planning was very methodical. All little moving components were accounted for, and there he was not willing to rush the planning piece of it to get devices out. So I think the number one thing, apart from what I just said, as far as supporting and knowing what you need to give going in, is before devices were even pushed out, before training started, there was a plan in place. And it wasn't just a one off plan, or here's how we're going to do it, uh, which would make it a plan, but it was a 5 year plan. Uh, and the beauty of that is it allows for everyone to come to blended learning on their own terms. So the initiative wasn't today, the entire district of Temple is going to start blended learning today. Principals were asked to identify innovators and trailblazers um, on their campuses who we thought would be willing. Um, but if people need to sit back and just watch and see how it unfolds, then that was perfectly fine. So every campus, excuse me, started off with one cohort. Um, of teachers, and on my campus there are four. Most campuses have about four sections, so it's about a grade level or a department. And then that has been the focus for the year is training up cohort A. Um, Anyone who's interested in onboarding next year or just wanting to watch and dabble in it, but not really have to fully commit, was part of the discovery phase. And then everybody else was just watching. Um, I can't say enough how important that idea was. Um, because, like I've already said, the work is hard. And so you need people doing the work, especially in the early stages, who really believe in it. And if you're forcing people into something that they're not comfortable with or that they don't have buy-in, um, they're not bought into, it has potential to tank an initiative. So building out a plan that basically says, the next 3 to 5 years, everyone in the district will be on board with blended learning, was critical. Now, my teachers know, at least on my campus, and I can't speak for other campuses, but on my campus, they know it's coming. So at your own pace, when you're ready, jump on the boat, but you're gonna get on the boat eventually. Maybe 3 to 5 years down the road, but it's coming. Um, but not having the pressure to do it right away is important. It's so important because I was listening to a speaker several months ago talk about Generation Z, and he made such a great point that we have to remember as leaders is these kids, they're born with devices in their hands. My son is 3 years old. He can get on the iPad, he can take a picture, he can play games, he can move from app to app. Um, he knows what he's doing. And an overwhelming majority of kids know what they're doing and have access at least to an iPhone. However, us as adults, so those kids are digital natives, but for adults, we're digital immigrants. We didn't grow up with technology. I was in high school and we had the big old bag phone that we carried in the car and thought it was so cool. Um, so for us, technology isn't as intuitive. Um, and depending on the age of the teacher and the confidence of the teacher, it could be really scary because they're not used to technology, even though they may have a laptop in their room. Using it to type an email is not the same as transforming your instruction through, digital platforms. So I think that by pacing out the cohorts and allowing for discovery phases really accounted for those types of situations. Um, and so that's been amazing. Our district did work or and is working with two agencies or consulting groups. One is Ed Elements, and the other is CA Group here in Texas. And so um, they have provided some really incredible training. Probably the most powerful thing for me as a learner was experiencing blended learning as a learner. So when I went to training with Ed Elements, we didn't sit and go through a PowerPoint and take notes and for 8 hours. We worked in station rotations. We worked through playlists. So we were able to experience it as our students would experience it. I could take after that training, take blended learning and make sense of it because I remember sitting my very first small group par breakout session. We were looking at tools for formative assessment and to open up the leader, her name's Megan. She said, "So how are y'all feeling?" And I was like, "I'm feeling frustrated. I want to know what it looks like, how it works. Um, I want it gift wrapped and handed to me so I can just go take it and implement it." And what I didn't know at the time is it looks different everywhere. And having that experience of the station rotation and seeing how they mapped out their professional development was really powerful. And so I know that working with those two groups has been instrumental in our district's move um, towards a district of innovation, really. Now, I'm not promoting one group over another. I don't know who all's out there. Um, I just know these are the two groups that we've worked with and have had success with. And so that's kind of how the journey started. With summer training, all the cohorts came in and we experienced blended learning as a learner and also spent time as a team focusing on our why and what it is we're hoping to accomplish and really did some vision casting um, as far as our campus goes to really establish our purpose. And so that's kind of at the district level on the larger scale, some things that have made this transition a whole lot easier. And so um, our district people are amazing and I know are always willing and to help. And so if there are any questions that either I can answer that I may have missed, let me know. Or don't hesitate to reach out because they're here to help you too. So that's all I have. I think next time I want to share a little about as the principal of the building, some steps I took to kind of prepare my staff and myself, and just a little bit of that piece of the journey. And so I'll see you next time. I'm hoping I can get this video to work when I post it to you, Twitter today. So, um, yeah, I'll see you soon.